Hey guys, Stitches here, back with another Beyblade Battle Fest video for 2025 Beyblade Day. This time, we are going back to the very first battle I did, circling back a bit to the very first battle I did in this series, being that we are... what am I trying to say? We are doing Dran versus Hells again, but this time we are using the secondary evolutions of the two. These are sort of sidewards upgrades, or side grades, if you will. More just alternate versions of the bays that each of the characters used in the anime, that are focused more on different things. So on the left we have Dran Dagger, 460 Rush, and on the right we have Hell's Chain, 560 High Taper. So I do want to stress this. Hell's Chain is actually the same height as all the other Hell's Bays, roughly. It has a shorter ratchet, but a higher tip. They did this for a very weird reason, I think, to just keep it at mid-height, so, you know. Without further ado, let's get a closer look at our bays here. So first off, we have... excuse me. I don't know why I said excuse me. So here we have Dran Dagger, a six-bladed design, more emphasizing the individual contact points. It is much more focused on barrage attacks. You can even see that it kind of incorporates some new design elements, such as being a lighter blue color and even having a white chip in the center. We also have it on 460 Rush, and you can actually see my rush bit is broken. It's just this part, though. It's not the actual contact point, so, you know, I'm kind of just keeping with that. Rush is a bit that is meant to give a sort of tighter line of attack, but also make it so that you don't use up a lot of stamina when extreme dashing. The main point of Dran Dagger is to do repeated extreme dashes, not losing a lot of stamina. And next up we have Hell's Chain, a 5-sided design this time compared to Hell's Scythe's 4. We can see kind of that they increased the sides by 1 on this, whereas they doubled the sides on Dran Dagger. It's got this sort of chain design, making it really good at defense. This is a much more defensive bay. And you can see that it's got high taper, so it's got a higher bit, but a shorter ratchet than the previous version. And it's got the 560 ratchet. Overall, this Beyblade is more defensive-oriented, but can still do attacks. So, it's pretty interesting. Both bays are kind of known to do sort of flurry rushes of attacks. And I'm curious to actually see how things go here. So just to review the rules, we'll be starting off in the Dynamite Stadium and working our way through 2 other stadiums through a total of 3 matches. Each match will go to 5 points, meaning it's a best of 9. In this first match, stamina outs and knockouts are 1 point. And burst finishes are 2 points, and there's no extreme finishes possible. Additionally, knockouts are through the top because that's how burst works. Now, I'm not exactly sure which one of these would be best to launch first, so I'll honestly just launch them in whatever order, to be completely honest. I'll start with Hell's Chain, though, just to see. So, 3, 2, 1, go. Kind of just a avoiding each other right now. Seems like Dran Dagger is tornado stalling, which may actually work out for it. In the long run here. First contact was made. Interesting. So Dran Dagger actually takes that stamina finish to start. So 3, 2, 1, go. Oop. The base shot out. I believe that was Dran's knockout. So I think that was Dran Dagger's knockout there. Meaning that, unfortunately, it is Dran Dagger 2 to Hell's Chain 1. Or Hell's Chain 0. I have a bad habit of doing that. I'm going to check to make sure there's no hairs wrapped around the bits of each Beyblade. I don't think that the little crescent cutout there that happened from the bay breaking, or from the bit breaking, I don't think that's a big deal, but you know. 3, 2, 1, go shoot. I honestly think Hell's Chain might not have this. I wasn't really sure because Hell's Chain is more defensive in shape. And it's pretty good on defensive combos, but here it's trying to be used in a more aggro style, which I'm not sure fully works. Or maybe I just lie because that's Hell's Chain's win, meaning the score is now Dran Dagger 2 to Hell's Chain's 1. 3, 2, 1, go. Dran Dagger got a big hit there, which I don't think is what Dran Dagger actually wants right now. Right now it seems like Hell's Chain is just chasing it and it waited up there to counter Dran Dagger's flower pattern. Two are kind of just flurrying around each other. Hell's Chain's getting pretty close to making those attacks. And ooh, score's now 2-2. 3, 2, 1. This is actually where I'm going to. Could you stop so I can talk, please? Thank you. I'm going to put a roll here. I typically do this in personal battles, but if contact... I've seen also a lot of competitive circles actually do this, but if contact is not made, I am not going to count knockout finishes. And the biggest reason why is it typically means that I just provided a bad launch, and I don't think it's a fair assessment of the base capabilities, so the score here will still be 2-2. So 3, 2, 1, 2. There. Get knocked out like a man. Don't just... Get knocked out like a man. Don't just run away. Alright, so the score is now Hell's Chain 2 to Dran Dagger's 3. I'm gonna relaunch that. That seemed like a little bit of a bad launch, but that was a cool popping thing there. Dran Dagger got the knockout there, so that's Dran Dagger 4 to Hell's Chains 2. Can Hell's Chain clutch this? So we'll see. Ooh, it managed to do a flurry of attacks against Dran Dagger there, so, you know, managed to actually snap back a little bit. Score is now Hell's Chain 3 to Dran Dagger's 4. We can see kind of there how in that tornado stall that they were both doing, how their tips interact with the stadium. We saw that for a second there, Dran Dagger actually had more speed than Hell's Chain, but Hell's Chain actually managed to maintain its speed for longer, so therefore Dran Dagger actually didn't make contact, and the score is now 4-4, meaning sudden death battle. I don't know what this is, but alright. 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh, Hell's Chain clutching it. It just barely didn't go over that edge there. Oh, but it couldn't do it again. That means the score goes to Dran Dagger 5, Hell's Chain 4. A close battle, really showing how these two bays interact with each other. But here things should be a little more fair, so we'll kind of see how things are going here. In the Xtreme Stadium, the points scoring has now changed, so knockouts can only be gotten through these corner pockets here. Additionally, survivor finishes are still 1, bursters still 2, but knockouts through these pockets are worth 2 points. And knockouts into this Xtreme pocket are an Xtreme finish, which is worth 3 points. Dran Dagger is actually one of the 2 bays that came with this stadium. The other one actually being a sort of reimagining, or like an echo, if you will, of Hell's Scythe called Tusk Mammoth. So 3, 2, 1, go. An insanely quick knockout from Dran Dagger, putting the score at Dran Dagger's 2 to Hell's Chain 0. 3, 2, 1. That was a bad launch from me, so I'm not going to count that. Three, two, one, go. Shoot. Okay, there we go. Fate was already decided, and that's that. Done with that stadium. They don't call it Rush for nothing. So we see that those bays, or we see that Dran Dagger is quite powerful. But now we move on to the double Xtreme Stadium, which has the second Xtreme line in the center. That makes things a little more interesting and allows for bays to accelerate more. So who knows, maybe the battles will end even faster, or maybe Dran Dagger will crash itself out. 3, 2, 1, go. Dran Dagger really not giving Hell's Chain any chances. So the score is Dran Dagger 2, Hell's Chain 0. 3, 2, 1, go. Dran Dagger had its stamina obliterated by Hell's Chain there. Final score, Hell's Chain 1, Dran Dagger 2. 3, 2, 1, 2. Ooh, an extreme dash collision there. Here's some scrapage from Dran Dagger, and Dran Dagger does seem to be struggling, but it does get the survivor finish. Putting the score at Dran Dagger 3 to Hell's Chains 1. Gonna relaunch that just because it got a little too active. Big hit from Hell's Chain there sent Dran around the stadium and just depleted its stamina. Score is now 2-2. 3, 2, 1, go. And Dran Dagger managed to fall off my launcher there. 3, 2, 1, go. Shoot. Score is now Dran Dagger 3 to Hell's Chains 2. The score is now Dran Dagger 4 to Hell's Chains 2 points still. So we will actually see if Dran Dagger just managed to lose this today. That was crazy. That's Dran Dagger's win. But Dran Dagger was like pushing Hell's Chain against the line there. That was some like Variant Lucifer type shit. If you don't know, Variant Lucifer was a Beyblade from Beyblade Burst, and in the anime it had a special move called a Variant Press, where it would basically crush Beyblades between the wall and this barrier gimmick it had around it, causing them to burst and in one case even shatter. I'm gonna do just one more battle though, just to see. Yep, so the score is still... So, I managed to score again. I thought Hell's Chain might be able to do it with one last battle here. I don't know why I did that, like Dran Dagger is going to stand up on the oscillating plate. But with that, Dran Dagger has claimed victory by a landslide, claiming victory, I think, in every single stadium. Honestly, not the way I thought things would go. I honestly thought Hell's Chain might do a lot better here, but it seemed like it kept struggling from Dran Dagger's just pure speed and barrage attacks. Mainly because Dran Dagger actually doesn't really do too many barrage attacks and actually just kind of pressures Beyblades away. So, yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you have any feedback, give that in the comments below. If you guys think maybe I did it a little unfair in Dran Dagger's regard or Hell's Chain's regard, please let me know. If you enjoyed the battle, also let me know. And yeah, check out the description. There's links to my other content and other stuff that I do, and check out my channel. I mostly do Let's Play stuff, but, right now I'm doing some Beyblade stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.